recording. Okay, so this session is completely related to the training purpose for NI analytics, and it is only used for the education purpose. Okay, so I hope that if you have any queries, you can just let me know. Meanwhile,
No, the
yeah, come again, please. Yeah, I hope I'm audible. First of all,
yes, you're audible.
I just asked you a question like, do you have any questions like about like
No,
training?
no, no. That's what I like. No, not as of now. It's fine.
Yeah, okay, because 22nd would be the last date. I mean, today itself. Okay. So, and also
Mhm.
tomorrow, if needed, I'll take a session. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Right. All right. So, there are few data sets which I am sending you right now as we have our conversation. And I
Mhm.
hopefully uh, will say that those data sets will be quite beneficial for your like understanding and also application
Practice.
level of Power BI. Okay. That is one thing what
Mhm.
I expect. Right. So, meanwhile, there were a lot of data sets also shared in the Google Drive. All right. So I hope that everything is there at your end about the resource. Is it?
Yes. I have downloaded and kept it all.
Okay,
Yes.
that's great then. So even the data sets and everything, right?
Yeah. Data set only. I have two data sets from WhatsApp I downloaded. I didn't realize data sets were shared from Google Drive. Let me just do it now.
Hmm. So it was a Google Drive link what was shared about data sets for practice and all. Is it there? That's what I'm asking.
Okay. I'll check it 1 second. Give me 1 second,
Just
please.
send your mail ID in the chat. It contains two things, which is so now have you got the access, which is interview questions and resume samples, and PPT and data sets for practice. So I think you would have got it by now in your mail. I've given you the sharing access.
Mhm.
Just check it.
Yeah. PPTs for practice.
Yeah, PPTs and data sets for practice.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it right.
Yeah. I'll download all of these. Yes.
Yeah, download it. Yeah, just download it and
Mhm.
we'll get started
Okay.
right away. Okay. So meanwhile, we have left out with a topic called as say data modeling. Yeah, so I'll just
Mhm.
share my screen. Just take you through what is data modeling and all. It's a simple topic, but identifying it and like you have got the fact table and the dimension table approach that you will be carrying it on, and we will be making use of that. Okay, so we'll be talking about data modeling. Okay, talking about data modeling aspects in Power BI, and this relates with the introduction part of data modeling, and then we'll move on with why data modeling is needed, Next, we have got say fact table and dimension table. All right. So next we will see the different types of relationships. Okay, we'll see different types of relationships, and we'll see some properties in the data modeling tab, and we will see how we can create a hierarchy. Right? Create a hierarchy in data modeling.
I think this was hierarchy we already done
Yeah,
in data
just now.
modeling.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So let me show it once again so that you will be clear.
Okay.
Right? So these are the concepts that we will be covering, and you should identify the fact table and dimension table. We have the well-known schema, which is called as the star schema data model. Okay, so we'll have a
Mhm.
schema called a star schema data model. All right, and just after that, we are going to see data refreshes in Power BI. Data refreshes
Okay.
in Power BI, and also we'll see some security roles. Right, we'll see some
Mhm.
security roles in Power BI. Okay, we'll
Okay.
see those things. I think if I cover it up, so the entire Power BI thing is covered. All right. So
Mhm.
you can just look into those concepts what I will be dealing with. Okay. Now let us start
Mhm.
with the data model. All right. Let us start with data model. Now, why or what do you mean by data model? Yes. Just I'll go on with the first one. So you need to create a report. All right. You need to create a report. Now, first, what you will be doing, you will be just importing the data, performing the ETL operations, and the third step is the data model. Okay, so then you will be going on and creating reports and publishing it as a dashboard, right? Publishing it as a dashboard. Now, this one we have seen only a single data set, only one data set, all right? We've seen only one data set, all right? So when we are talking about multiple tables, right? When we are talking about multiple tables here, how we are going to relate them and how we are going to classify them as tables, multiple tables. All right. So that's what we are going to do here when we have data modeling in Power BI. Okay. So let us move on to Power BI right now, and let me import an Excel workbook. And we have got say a simple superstore data set which I'll be taking for my reference. Okay. So making a connection in the Excel file, and I'm going to show you how the data modeling would like impact the report if it is not done in a proper manner. Okay. So what we are going to
Okay.
see here is we are going to see orders, sheets, people, and return. Assuming that these are tables, I'll be just transforming the data. Okay. So I want you to answer a simple transformation which is there in the data set right now. Looking at
Mhm.
the data set, you should identify the transformation what we are going to do here. Okay. Now the
Okay.
Power Query editor opens where we have got a simple a superstore related data set which is called as orders table or queries. We have got people and returns. Can you identify the first thing here?
Uh, the data types of all of things are this thing.
So the first row is taken as a
Yeah.
header. Okay.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
I'll go to people.
Okay.
Same way, first row is taken as headers. Next, the orders one. We take the yeah, it's all okay. So nothing much
Mhm.
to be changed here, and everything is fine. Okay.
Okay.
So let's check the data thing. And if I don't want any null values. Yeah, just try to do that. Or if I want to replace the null values also, I can do that. Yeah, fine. So it's left to you. If I want to replace the null values, you can also do that.
Mhm.
Okay, that's not what I'll do. I'll just try to.
And for me, this thing, this column health, right? Column distribution, this one, when you're doing, right, when you're checking the
Mhm,
this thing,
mhm.
when you're getting the graph, for me, only few are getting the only which have numerical values, right? Which has 1, 2, 3, the column, only those are showing as graphs. When it's ABC or 1, 2, 3 ABC, the graph is not coming out.
See, it will
The
come up.
financial data.
It will come up. See here. See, you go to view tab.
Column distribution I did.
Yeah.
So
Let,
only
let me
few
check.
things were coming out.
Let me check it out.
Okay.
Yeah. So next, if you go for column profiling, you should go for the entire data set. Okay. So this is one
Mhm.
change that you can do it.
Okay.
Okay. So this is
Mhm.
that you can just check it again. Everything is fine. So next, click this go for home and click on the close and apply. All right. So once we have got
Mhm.
close and apply, we have got the data sets which are loading in orders, people, and returns. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So yes, now what it is showing here is it is creating a connection in the model. All right. First, go to here,
Mhm.
right, on the connection model. Now I'm going to show quickly that how a reporting is impacted or how it has an impact once we have got the data from the orders table, people table, and also the returns table. Okay, so that's what we are going to do here. Case of orders, returns, and other people. I mean the customers that we are talking here. Okay, so once we have
Mhm.
got orders, see this is order table, people table, and we have got returns table. Okay, so we have got say sales. Okay, we have got sales, and then we have got say returns, which is nothing but say region wise. I want the return. Okay, region wise, want the result. I mean the returns. I mean sales. Now, don't you think that this is correct? Is this correct? I have asked two questions. Do you think that this is correct? Or if it is correct, why? Or if it is wrong, why? Think in terms
It's
of
not
this
quantified, right? Like, yeah, it's not quantified properly.
in the sense when
We
you
just
check for yes, we talk about
like the data has not been represented properly. Like maybe you can
yes.
use some other graph or.
No, don't talk about the graph. Graph is fine. The
Mhm.
I'm talking about the data here. Don't worry about the graph.
It's not. Yeah, it's not been represented properly.
What representation? See, we are not talking about representation. We are talking about data. Okay. When we talk about data, I'm just asking you a question whether the don't worry about chart. Not specifically asking you about the chart here. I'm only talking about the content which is there. Okay, let me make it quite easy for you.
It's summarize. Okay, content is not actually.
Yeah,
It's showing same sales for everything. Yes. Hmm.
yes, right. Now you got it. Now,
Yeah.
and there is one thing which is correct. What is it?
The total sales.
Yes, exactly. Right. So, what happens here is we have got three tables, and if I come to the data model, okay, if I come to the data model, one minute, right, delete everything. Yes. So this is about the data model, right? Here. So once we have the data model, like we have got orders, people, and returns here, I don't have any relationship between these tables. Okay, so these tables might be arranged like this, not a problem at all. So if I want to get a right report, all right, so I'll be going for a data modeling approach. Okay, so I need to relate. See, if your SQL classes has started, they would have told you that what is the difference between a DBMS and RDBMS. Okay, so
Hmm.
RDBMS is
Relational
called
data mode.
a relational database management system, and DBMS generally it's a database management system. Need not be relational.
Right.
Okay, need not be a
Hmm.
relational one. All right. So we will be having the relational database management sort of an approach in case of the data model here. Okay. So there is no
Okay.
rocket science or too hard to understand. First, we should go and keep in mind that once we are importing the data, how many tables are there? Okay. So maximum, you just have to reduce it to 5 to 6 tables once we are dealing with the data modeling approach. Okay. So we are going to have a simple three table approach here. Now I'm going to teach you how do we identify a primary key and a foreign key. Okay, getting my point
Okay.
here, Vijay?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we are going to identify the first one, which is a primary key. Second one, it's not a secondary key. We call it as foreign key. Okay, we have primary
Okay.
key, and then we have got a foreign key here. Okay, so we have got primary key, and then we have got foreign key. Okay, now how do I define this primary key and how do I define this foreign key? Okay, we'll keep that aside and we will talk about differentiating the tables in data model. Okay, we'll differentiate tables in data model, right? So we are going to call it as two different types of tables, that is fact table, and the second one it is called as the dimension table, or we call it as dimension table. Okay, so we are going to call it as fact table and we are going to call it as the dimension table. Now, how are we going to define a fact table? So at the moment, I have got three tables. Got it? At the moment, I have got three tables. Now, what I'll be doing here is I should identify which one is a fact table and which one is a dimension table. Okay. So based on the definitions, let me tell you that based on the definitions, we are going to I mean, classify or categorize the fact table and the dimension table. Okay. So one thing is the table which holds observational values or event values, okay, such as profit, sales profit, okay, total quantity. Next we have got order date. Next we have got a ship date, or we have a due dates as well. Okay, so we have due dates as well. Now, if you find like some columns or
Clear
attributes
things. Okay.
which are there in the fact table like this, what I have mentioned. I mean, we are going to call it as a fact table. The attribute
Fact table.
here, we are going to call it as a fact table. Okay, so this is what we
Mhm.
want to define. Now, when I'm talking about the dimension table, this dimension table is having only like columns related to the order ID, which is having a unique value. Okay, it is having a unique value like order ID, product ID,
The the returns or something like that. The table.
return ID,
Mm.
right? So if you have got things related to these order ID, product ID, and returns ID, and roll number, all right? So those are considered
Mhm.
as the dimension table. Okay, those are
Okay.
considered as dimension tables. Okay, now
So at no point will the order ID have anything related to sales or nothing like that. Only these IDs are called dimensions. Or we have to, if that's not there, we have to create
see,
one more dimensional table which only includes product ID and return
yes,
ID also.
I'll tell you at that point. See, you might be have okay. Let me give you a reference and help you out. Okay, so now you are seeing this one, which is related to the three different tables what you have in our data model. Okay, so
Mhm.
now can you identify and let me know how many fact tables are there and how many dimension tables are
So only orders is a fact table,
there? Good.
and percent regions are this thing dimensions, and returns are dimensions.
Yes. Yeah. So I'll just name it as fact table. And can you let me know why it is?
Because it has sales, it has quantifiable amounts like sales,
Yes.
discounts.
Yeah. So we have also got
Mhm.
returns. All right. Now, one thing is, I mean, yeah, you please let me know your query now.
Yeah. So if returns also sometimes there'll be like how much product was returned, like sale
No,
was returned or something
no,
like
no.
that
See,
one.
the returned status. That's why you should observe the data set.
Mhm.
Okay. Observe the data set. All right. So once you start observing the data set, what it means, then you will come to know which one is the fact table and which one is the dimension table. Okay. So anyhow, I'll
Mhm.
set the data set. You just practice it. Um, what I wanted to tell here is we are going to identify the fact table, which is orders table, and this one is a dimension related. Clear with my point?
Okay.
All right. So there will no like yeah. So in that case, what you can do here is I'll tell you. First, we'll go on with some options which are related to the basics of data modeling. All right. So see the order ID here is a unique one. Okay. So this one is a dimension table and this is a return whether it is having status like yes or no. That's all. Okay.
Mhm.
You see the data set. I'll show you while I go to the data model and this is the return step. Yeah.
Okay.
This is the return step. See, we have got yes. This is the order ID and this is the region. Clear with my point?
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah. See, return, order ID, and region. Got it? Now, once we are dealing with the data modeling approach, okay, so we are going to have these three tables aligned properly. First, you have to align it or just arrange it and fit. Okay, and you know that these are the tables which are going to be related to each other. How is it done? It is done with the help of which one? The keys. Okay, we will be calling it as primary key, which is referred in the dimension table only. Next, we have got
Mhm.
foreign key, which is referred in the fact table only. Okay,
Okay.
primary key
Mhm.
and foreign key,
Fact.
which is called as the dimension table, and we have called it as a fact table here.
Fact.
Okay,
Mhm.
I called it as a fact table here. All right, just keep in mind and have a look at that. So primary key
Mhm.
is in the dimension table and the foreign key is the same key which is referred in the fact table. Same key. Okay. So there is no
Okay.
change. And how we are going to categorize it is a uh, question. So I'll go to transform data. And what I'll be doing here is this is the fact orders. Okay. Now what I'll consider, let me consider there are only two tables, which is fact orders and dimension people. Okay. Fact orders and dimension uh, one. Okay, dimension people. Okay, so what can be the primary key in these two tables only? Okay, so see here, I'll just go to choosing a column. See, these are the columns which are present there in the fact table. Okay,
Mhm.
yeah, which could be it.
The order ID.
Okay, so do we have order ID in people?
Yeah. Order ID. No. Dimension only person and region is there. So region can we can consider in both.
Yes. Okay, so in that case, what I'll do, it is region. Okay, so region in dimension people is the primary key. Okay, now let's talk about returns and orders. It's quite easy now. Returns and orders.
The order ID is there, right, in
Yes,
returns.
exactly. Okay, so we are talking about the order ID, and let me click on close and apply. Okay, so let's start. We have already identified the primary key in both the dimension table and the foreign key in the fact orders table at the moment. Now moving on to the next step, we have got to relate the dimension table with the fact table. Okay, so what we are going to do here is we are going to have dimension returns, take it and just overlap it over the fact table. That's simple. Okay, it is quite simple.
Mhm. Okay.
Got my point? Okay,
Mhm.
so next, the same way we have got a region. See, we have got region. This is a region. Let's try to do it. All right. So you might
Okay.
think that, yeah, any doubts?
No. Like, can't we just connect the you have to have actually overlap is it exactly over the regions now which it
Exactly.
won't
Yes. Yes.
connect properly. Okay.
Okay, I'll show you exactly what happens if you don't overlap, if you miss it. Okay,
Mhm.
just related, I'm deleting the relationships at the moment so that I can show you what has happened in the report view. Okay, so it is region, returns and orders. Okay,
Mhm.
returns and orders. Okay, now what was the primary key here
Regions.
in returns?
Returns outright.
Order, right? Okay, see, I'll match it to product ID. Assume it.
Mhm.
Okay, assume it. Yeah, misplaced it, and it is showing the relationship which is product ID. Okay. Now,
Okay.
did you observe the
Okay.
change? What happened?
Yeah. Okay. I think now I know how wide my most of my tables are because data modeling when date table date was happening, right? I was taking and dropping it on the table.
Yeah. So always you have to
Match it to the
relate it.
but
Yeah, not mark it. Relate it with respect to the foreign key which is there in the fact orders table. Okay.
okay.
Here.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'll show you the result. See here. So this is not
Okay.
the region is not there. The others region you can see it is there. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
So now this region is
Okay.
not defined. That's the point. This is null here. I mean, it's not showing the value.
Data not available.
Okay. So this one is showing you the total sales, which is blank. See here, this is blank,
Mhm.
and we have got sales which is related to us. Okay. Got it. Now, say let's go for region now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we have got region at the moment.
And it's always from the dimension table to the
Yes,
fact table.
yes.
Like
That is one
other
of
ways
the
also will
best.
not
That
work.
is one of the best practice that we follow because we identified primary key. We didn't identify the fact table. foreign,
Foreign.
right? So always the relation has to be done from the primary key, which is there as a unique value. Okay, so that brings
Okay.
us to one more discussion here, which is nothing but one, and you have got star, which means that the type of relationship is one, and this one is many. Okay, now we can see a small triangle like this, which means that
Mhm.
it is filtering in a unidirectional way. Okay, so unidirectional way. Okay, so we are talking about cross filtering direction. Talking about
Mhm.
cross filtering direction. So this is possible like one to many. What it means, what exactly it means is, see, we have got unique values in the region. Getting my point? Unique values in the region. Now we have also got unique values in the region, but it is repeated based on the order ID. What it means is, see, we have got people
Multiple orders from one region.
in region. Okay, so region is fixed. In a region, you might have like 10 lakh people, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are many people, isn't it? And a person can go into supermarket like 10 times in a day, isn't it? So each time he goes, an order ID is generated. Getting my point? So try to analyze this. This is the one step that we will be asked in the interviews as well. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
a person might go into a superstore and 10 times and he might have 10 order IDs. If you have seen a bill of Reliance Fresh or DMart, you
Okay.
would have seen an order ID, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
purchase ID or bill ID, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I want you to
Invoice
understand
ID.
it, right? If you're getting it,
I get it.
I can explain it better. All right.
No,
So
no, no,
we
I
have
got
got
it. Every time I go, a new order ID is like what you say, invoice is generated, right? Invoice number is generated.
invoice ID or
So like,
invoice number is generated. All right. So the region wise, we have got only few regions, and the customers,
mm-hmm.
there are many. Like the orders placed, there are even many, right? So each time a
Many.
sale is done, profit is done, quantity is taken, and it is based on
Mm-hmm.
the order ID. Okay. So at this point, I have got the region, which is a foreign key. Now this one is a
Foreign.
primary. Okay. So the
Mm-hmm.
primary key is filtering not only the foreign key, but also the other attributes which are there in the fact table. Okay. So that's why it is
Mm-hmm.
called as one, which is from the dimension side, many, which is there in the fact side. Okay. Many in the sense, many attributes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we have got it as many attributes. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what we will be looking into in our data modeling here. Okay. Meanwhile,
Mm-hmm.
if you have any queries, you can let me know.
No, got it as of now.
Yeah, you got it right. Now, again,
Mm-hmm.
you build the date table, right? See, you built
Mm-hmm.
a date table,
Mm-hmm.
isn't it? In the previous task that I had
Yeah.
given, wanted you to build the date table. I mean, it is used in the data model. We call it as a role-playing dimension. Okay, we call it as
Mm-hmm.
a role-playing dimension table. So in the interview, if they ask what is a role-playing dimension, a date table is considered as a role-playing dimension, which is used
Dimensions.
for most of the time intelligence calculations. We are going to standardize.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we are going to standardize the table, which is called as a role-playing dimension table. Clear with my point?
Okay. Yes.
Is it clear? Okay,
Yes.
fine. So that
Start.
role-playing dimension table. See, always remember that the date table that you generate, it is called as a virtual date table. Okay, virtual
Mm-hmm.
date table, and the date column is the primary key. Okay, date column is
Okay.
the primary.
Right.
Clear? Date column
Yeah.
is the
Yeah.
primary. Clear with my point here, Vijay?
Yes. Yes.
Right? Okay. So we are going to have one more concept for the day, like see here. Now I can double click this, and we have got a relationship editor which will open. Okay. See,
Okay.
You can double click that and you will have a relationship editor that is open, which means that you have got the fact orders table, dimension people table, and we have got the cross filtering direction and cardinality. Okay. So apart from many to one, why is it called as many to one? It means that, see, this is the many
Dimension.
side which is
Mm-hmm.
there in the fact table. Okay. The
Fact table.
first one, it is one, which means that it
Dimension.
is unidirect. I mean, the primary key is identified.
Dimensional
So
table.
this one is the foreign. Okay. So fact table. Fact
Okay.
table is taken first, and next the dimension table at the moment of this relationship editor. Okay. So we will be having the many to one relationship. See, the single direction is being filtered. Okay. These are the concepts in data modeling in Power BI. Okay.
Okay.
Clear with my point?
Yeah.
Got it? So see here, we can also select that, and the relationship editor opens in the properties pane.
Mm-hmm.
Clear with my point?
Okay.
So we can change it here directly. For example, like what you did, if you have changed it,
Cardinal of this.
or if you have changed it to person, you can change it back to region and click on apply change. Okay, so it
Mm-hmm.
will change it. Clear with the point?
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure. So what I will be doing here is I'll be sharing this simple data set with you. You just go through it,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And
Mm-hmm.
let me tell you about the next class as of now. So just be prepared. Okay. So what about your
Okay.
schedule today?
Uh, Schedule today. Thing is, no SQL today. Only Python I have. So that is later on in the evening after 12, from
Okay,
11:30
then in
to
the morning I think you
6.
are available. Okay, so just practice. I'll let you know 30
Yeah.
minutes earlier when we can have a class today or not.